Gun enthusiasts, let's dive into something you might not expect. Why the 22 LR, that little round you've probably got stashed in a drawer somewhere, might just be the most dangerous cartridge rolling around America. I'm not kidding. You might think it's just for plinking cans or teaching the kids how to shoot. But this unassuming slug has a knack for punching way above its weight. From historical mayhem to modern-day ballistics, it's got a story that'll make you rethink that beginner label. Buckle up, because we're about to unpack this with some real talk, a few crazy tales, and a dash of gun geek humor. Like and follow Survival Gear Showcase. If you're into this kind of deep dive, let's get rolling. So, why is this tiny round such a big deal? For starters, it's got a knack for showing up in wild situations where you'd least expect it. Picture this: a law enforcement officer, Trooper Mark Coates, rolling up on a suspect. Coates is packing a .357 Magnum, a beast of a gun. Right, he lands 4 solid hits on the bad guy's torso. 4, and the dude still doesn't go down. Meanwhile, the suspect's got this little Derringer pistol, just a toy by comparison, loaded with a 22 LR. One shot slips through a gap in Coates' vest, and that's it. Game over. It's a gut punch of a story, but it proves something critical. Placement beats power every time. That single 22 LR round found the right spot and did what 4 .357 slugs couldn't. Then there's the 1981 Reagan assassination attempt. The shooter's weapon, a Rome RG-14 revolver, chambered in, you guessed it, 22 LR, one of those cheap Saturday night specials people used to scoff at. The bullet ricochets off Reagan's limo, sneaks under his arm, and nearly takes out the President of the United States. A ricochet from a round most folks wouldn't trust to stop a raccoon. That's the kind of chaos the 22 LR can stir up when you underestimate it. Here's the deal. The 22 LR is dangerous because it's everywhere. ATF stats show it's the 3rd most common caliber traced in crime guns, trailing just behind 9mm40 S&W. Criminals love it cheap, easy to snag, and fits in your pocket. Plus, it's quiet. You don't need a Hollywood silencer to hush it up. It's naturally low-key, especially from a short barrel. That's why it's a go-to in places where folks don't want attention. But let's dig into what it can do today. I ran some tests on Federal Punch 22 LR, a round built for self-defense, not just popping squirrels. This isn't your grandpa's plinking ammo. It's a 29-grain, nickel-plated flat-nose bullet designed to punch deep, especially from snub-nose guns. No fancy expansion here, just raw penetration, and it delivers. Fired from a Taurus 942 with a 2-inch barrel, it clocks 1,050 feet per second and digs 15 inches into ballistic gel. Swap to a Ruger LCP2 light rack with a 2.75-inch barrel, and you're at 1,123 feet per second and 17 inches. Stretch it out to a SIG P3 22 4-inch barrel, and it's 1,221 feet per second and over 18 inches. Even a Ruger MK4 light with a 4.4-inch barrel hits 1,238 feet per second and plows through 21 inches. No jams, no duds, just consistent, deep tracks every time. Now, I know some of you are scratching your heads. No expansion. How's that going to stop someone? Here's the scoop. With 22 LR, it's all about driving straight to the good stuff: heart, lungs, whatever's vital. My tests showed wound channels with 2 to 2.5-inch temporary cavities early on. That's enough to mess up someone's day real quick. Throw 4 layers of clothing in the mix, and it barely flinches, maybe loses an inch of depth. For a round people call weak. That's damn impressive. And it's not just lab stuff. The 22 LR has real-world chops. It's racked up a body count in crimes and accidents because people don't respect it. They think, oh, it's just a 22, and that's when it bites. I've seen guys at the range laugh it off, then go pale when you tell them how many folks it's dropped. Underestimate it at your own risk. Suppress it, and it gets even sneakier. From a short barrel, it's usually subsonic, no sonic crack, just a puff. Slap a can on there, and it's quieter than your buddy snoring after a range day. I showed how a suppressed 22 pistol barely whispers. That's why it's been a favorite for discreet jobs, legal or not. Point is, this round's got layers. Let's talk practical. Say you're picking a self-defense round. Is 22 LR the king? Nah, I'd still grab a 9mm or 45 if I could. More oomph, more forgiveness if your aim's off. But don't write off the 22 LR. If it's what you've got, or what you can shoot without flinching, it's no slouch. Federal Punch proves it's evolved beyond the plinking stereotype. Shot placement's the name of the game. Nail the right spot. And it doesn't matter if it's a 22 or a 50 BMG threats down. I've heard guys swear by it from real scrapes. One buddy had to fend off a strung-out intruder with a Ruger 1022, couple rounds to the chest, and the guy hit the dirt. Not pretty, but it worked. The 22 LR can ricochet inside a body too, tearing up more than you'd think. It's not a feature I'd bet on, but it's in the toolbox. Who's it for? Maybe you've got shaky hands, or recoil knocks you around. Maybe it's for your wife or kid learning the ropes. Or maybe you just want something light you can carry all day. A 22 pistol weighs next to nothing and still packs enough to matter. I tested it against barriers cloth, drywall, and it keeps trucking. Not bad for a toy round. It shines against critters too. Rabid dog coyote sniffing your chickens. 22 LR handles it. In a pinch. It's a survivalist's dreamlight ammo. Tons of shots. And small game for dinner. Just don't try it on a bear unless you're a crack shot with nerves of steel. So, why is it the most dangerous? It's not the deadliest 9mm still wears that crown, but the 22 LR is a sleeper. It's cheap, common, and overlooked. People don't fear it till it's too late. Criminals use it, cops curse it, and regular folks like us, we'd be smart to respect it. Train hard, know your gun, and don't let its size fool you. This little round's got a big bite. Think about concealability. A 22 LR pistol, like the Ruger LCP2 Light Rack, is so small you could tuck it in your pocket and forget it's there. Compare that to lugging around a 45 ACP, it's like carrying a brick. For folks who need to stay low-key, whether it's a late-night gas station run or just daily carry in a rough neighborhood, the 22 LR is a game changer. You're armed without advertising it, and with modern loads like Federal Punch, you're not just carrying for show. Those rounds dig deep enough to make someone regret crossing you. Now, let's talk training. If you're new to shooting or trying to get your family comfortable with firearms, the 22 LR is your best buddy. Recoil, barely a nudge. Cost you can shoot all day without breaking the bank. I remember my first time at the range with a Ruger 1022. I burned through a brick of ammo 500 rounds, and my wallet didn't cry. Try that with 9mm or 40 S&W, and you're eating ramen for a month. Plus, the low recoil means you can focus on fundamentals. Trigger pull, sight alignment, breathing. Get those down with a 22 and you're halfway to mastering any gun. But it's not just for newbies. Even seasoned shooters keep a 22 LR in their rotation. Why? It's fun. For one, plinking steel targets with a SIG P322 feels like cheating. It's so easy to stay on point. And when you're running drills, you can practice transitions, reloads, or weak-hand shooting without the wrist punishment of a bigger caliber. I've seen guys with years of trigger time pull out a Ruger MK Freelight just to mess around, and they're grinning like kids. It's practical and keeps your skills sharp. Let's pivot to the tactical side. The 22 LR's quiet nature isn't just for shady types, it's a legit advantage for lawful use. Say you're in a rural spot, dealing with varmints tearing up your property. A suppressed 22 pistol or rifle, like a Ruger 1022 with a can, lets you handle business without waking the neighbors or spooking every critter in the county. I ran a demo with a suppressed 22, and the loudest thing was the bullet smacking the target. That's not just cool, it's strategic. Less noise means less attention, whether you're protecting your livestock or just keeping things discreet. And don't sleep on its versatility. The 22 LR isn't picky about platforms. You've got everything from pocket pistols like the Taurus 942 to precision rifles like the Ruger Precision Rimfire. Want a do-it-all gun for your bug-out bag? A 22 rifle with a takedown design fits the bill. You can carry thousands of rounds in a backpack. Try that with 308. It's perfect for small game, self-defense in a pinch, or even bartering in a worst-case scenario. I've got a buddy who swears his 22 stash is his apocalypse currency, half joking, but he's not wrong. Now, let's address the haters. Some folks will tell you the 22LR is underpowered, unreliable, or only good for squirrels. Sure, it's not a .44 Magnum. If you're squaring up against a charging hog or a guy in body armor, you're better off with something heavier. But that's missing the point. The 22LR isn't about raw power. It's about precision and opportunity. My tests showed 0 failures to feed or fire with Federal Punch across multiple guns. That's reliability you can bank on. And when you land a shot where it counts, it's lights out. I've heard too many stories, cops, hunters, regular Joes who've seen a 22 drop a threat cold. It's not the size of the bullet, it's the skill behind it. Here's a quick aside from my own range days. I was teaching a buddy's wife to shoot, and she was terrified of recoil. We started with a .38 special, and she was flinching before she even pulled the trigger. Switched her to a SIG P322 and 22LR, and she was stacking rounds like a pro by the end of the session. That's the magic of this caliber. It builds confidence. She's now carrying a Ruger LCP2 and sleeps better, knowing she's got options. That's the kind of real-world impact we're talking about. So, what's the takeaway? The 22LR is dangerous because it's deceptive. It's the quiet kid in class who turns out to be a black belt. Its affordability means it's in every gun shop, every pawn store, every glove box. Its concealability makes it a favorite for those who don't want to be seen coming. And its performance, when you respect it, can rival calibers twice its size. I think this round's a paradox. It's a trainer, a defender, a hunter, and a troublemaker all in one. If you're thinking about carrying, don't let anyone shame you out of a 22LR. Is it my first pick? Nope, I'm a 9mm guy when stakes are high. But if a 22 is what you shoot best, or it's all you've got, you're still in the fight. Train like your life depends on it, because it might. And next time someone calls the 22LR a toy, just smile and let them keep guessing. This little round's been proving folks wrong for over a century, and it's not stopping anytime soon. The 22LR's legacy isn't just about stats or stories, it's about what it represents. Freedom to choose your tools, confidence to protect what's yours, and a reminder that even the smallest player can change the game. So, grab your Ruger, your SIG, or whatever 22 you've got, and hit the range, respect the round, hone your aim, and keep it real. The 22LR might just be the most dangerous thing you'll ever underestimate. If you found this content valuable, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to Survival Gear Showcase for more in-depth discussions on firearms, gear, and the principles that make our community strong. Your support helps us keep the conversation going. Lock and load for more great content.